All right, all right. Welcome back within the rep. Jeez, I think this is episode number. I might be number 10. I don't know. I'll probably stop counting the episodes. I was thinking about that this morning in the shower. I was like, I'm for sure going to lose track of the numbers here. So here we are. We're back. We're running it up. There'll be lots more to come, but we're back again. So today, have my good friend Sam Rodriguez on. We've been friends for a little while. Past year or so, we've been in talks and chats, kind of met through the social media realm, but that's how it goes. So Sam's a really cool guy, coaches people as well. I don't want to steal his introduction though, so I like to let people introduce themselves here. So Sam, tell us who you are, what you do, where you're at.
Yeah. So I'm an online health and fitness coach. Mostly work with parents that struggling to get their energy back, struggling to feel like themselves again after having kids. Me myself, I have two under two, so I can definitely relate to the struggles, but then help them overcome them, just like I'm doing right now while I'm also doing like my bodybuilding journey.
Mm-hmm. So where
Yeah.
did you grow up?
So I grew up in California in a little town on the Central Coast that probably no one's ever heard of. The only thing there is like an Air Force base and a prison.
Okay.
But it's like 3 hours north of LA. That's where I usually tell people, and people can kind of figure that out from there. But yeah, I grew up there. I lived there till I was, how old was I? Like 25 ish. And then moved down to Long Beach. So I got a job down there because I work on the railroad now. I've been doing that for 13 years now. And I got my start there at a small railroad there by my hometown. And then applied to one down in LA and Long Beach, worked there for several years. And then me and my wife wanted to move over here to Texas. So then I applied and worked over here to a railroad here in Dallas, worked there for a few years. And then I just switched to the new passenger line that opened up over here.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So what kind of, I have a few friends in the railroad industry. I mean, I grew up in the Midwest in Saskatchewan, so I have a few people work for, CP and whatnot, the Canadian rail companies. But what drove you to get into that industry at a young age?
So at the time, I was just doing security at like the mine that was in my hometown, and the railroad was there to they come in and do the switching and the track work, and I basically just like bugged them for several months until I got a job because they paid more than what I was doing with security, and I figured they have a good retirement and everything, so it's good to get into.
Yeah, good, easy kind of entry job, good pay, good benefits, things like that.
Yeah. I mean, the pay at that one wasn't as good as, if I would have worked for one of the class ones like Union Pacific or CP, but it still was decent for where I was living. But it was hard work because when I first started, I was doing track work and I slowly worked my way up to becoming a conductor. So that's the person that's on the ground, putting the rail cars together and putting them where they need to go. And then I did that for a while. And then when I went to Long Beach, I first was a signal maintainer. So those I don't know if you've seen, like, the trains have their own kinda traffic lights.
Hmm.
So they make sure, like, those work, and then, there's the crossings, like, where you have to like, the gates where you have to wait for the train. I make sure, like, all those work or fix them. But kinda got tired of that, so I went back into train service as a conductor again, and eventually got moved up to engineer. And then that's when moved, like, applied to the railroad over here. I came as an engineer, so that was nice. And then for this newest job too, I could just come in as an engineer since I already had my card. So I've been an engineer for like 6 years now. So that's the person that drives the train.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's super cool. So have you done lots of like train driving then?
Yeah, yeah, I can do like when I worked there in Long Beach, we build like the huge trains, like the ones that you see like the stack containers on. So
Mhm.
we build like 10 to 15,000 foot trains there. And then when I moved here to Texas, it was just like a lot more like switching. So the only thing like the bigger trains we do were like just like kind of like a mixture of all like the regular cargo stuff or like rock trains. And then now I do passengers, so that's like little tiny trains. It's like nothing.
That's cool. That must be pretty cool to run one of those big rigs.
Yeah, I think I miss doing the freight stuff. The passenger kind of got boring really fast. It's just going like back and forth. And I thought I was going to be able to go faster, but we really don't go that fast. So I was like, "Oh, it's kind of disappointing." It's a lot
Yeah.
more, it just got boring really fast. It's a lot more rewarding when I can help my clients like get to their goals. Like that's a lot more fulfilling than just driving a train.
Yeah, no, for sure. We don't have cool trains in North America like overseas, you know, we don't have any high speed bullet trains or anything. Those things are pretty badass.
Yeah, they keep saying they're gonna build one, in California, but that hasn't happened. I think they said they were gonna build one from, like, LA to Vegas. I think they've made more progress there, and then the last I heard, they were supposed to be building one from, like, Austin to Dallas or something. I don't know. I'll believe it when they actually finish it.
Right, right. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Like I see you're pretty heavily tattooed. You got a pretty badass throat tattoo. I mean,
Yeah.
got stretched ears. So, you know, tell us a little bit about that. What got you into that kind of scene?
So, I listened to, like, more heavy music, so that was the scene I got into, like, probably, like, my senior year of high school, was, like, stretching my ears. And then once I graduated high school, I started getting tattoos and, like, a bunch of piercings. I don't know if you, like, know too much about, like, the deathcore music scene, but that's what I was, like, super into. And so, I played the drums too, so I was in, like, deathcore bands, playing a bunch of shows and stuff. And then, just kind of kept up with that, aesthetic, I guess, with getting a bunch of tattoos. I actually did apprentice, as a at a tattoo shop for a little bit, but, that was kind of a lot of personal stuff that happened that I had to quit, but it was cool when it lasted, and that's when I got, like, a lot of tattoos. Because when I started my apprenticeship, I think I just had a sleeve, and then when I ended, I had, like, my chest done, my other sleeve started, and then my back piece started. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I know a little bit. I mean, I kind of have liked all genres of music growing up. When I did move to Vancouver, and then especially when I started getting tattoos, I started getting into like the metal scene and like there's some small bands and whatnot who play downtown Vancouver here and yeah, they're pretty hectic. But yeah, I know a little bit about that like kind of metal scene. I mean, a few of my friends were in it. I wasn't per se. I was
Mhm.
kind of more of like a little bit of a hip hop kind of kid, right? Like a rap kid. Yeah, but in the same way, like when I started getting tattoos, I just one and then I just couldn't stop. I was like,
Yeah.
would you consider it a bit of like an addiction when you first got your next set, and then you got to get another one?
Like, a little bit. I think the only thing that had slowed me down at first was, like, my ex has ended up getting, like, paying for a lot of her tattoos, so that slowed me down from getting more tattoos. But then once I was single again, that's when I did that apprenticeship, and then I got a bunch of tattoos, and then kinda continued it after that, because that's after that, I moved down to Long Beach and then got tattooed by some people in LA. That's where I got my other hand done and yeah, because he did my hand too when I was apprenticing. So I did, like, my sleeve, he did my hand. So then when I moved to LA, I got my other hand and my knuckles, like, my fingers done by someone, and then his buddy did my stomach and my throat. 'Cause I traded him my drum set actually for the tattoos.
Yeah.
'Cause I was moving and I didn't have a place to store my drums, and so he kept posting, like, that he was looking for drum set and he'd trade 'em for tattoos, and I was like, "This is a sign," like, because 'cause I've been wanting to get tattooed by him, and I was like,
Mhm.
"Okay, I'll give you my drums then for some tattoos," and at first it was just my stomach piece, but then I threw in some extras, like a couple, like, some hardware with it too. So then he's like, "Oh, I'll do your neck next time." And I was like, "Okay, sick. That's awesome." But, I mean, you got your neck tattoo. Did you think it hurt?
I got the back of my head done, the back of my neck, and yeah, the two sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
What's
not
hurt the
fun.
most then?
Fuck,
Yeah.
it hurt. It hurt. It really hurt.
Dude, it sucked. I asked a couple of my coworkers, like, that had, like, their necks tattooed. I was like, "Oh, how bad does your neck hurt?" And they're like, "It's not too bad." And I was
Yeah,
like, "Oh,
fuck
weird, because
off.
like, I got my chest done and it sucked." And they're like, "No, it's, like, the same." And I was like, "Okay." And as soon as he pulled, like, the first line on this side of my neck, I was like, this is gonna take forever. This is gonna feel like this, oh my god." And then once he got to the middle, I was, like, almost gonna tap out, and he's like, "Do you need to stop? We can do another session." And I was like, "You're already halfway done, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "We might as well just finish it then. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
come I don't wanna come back."
Yeah, see, I've been getting tattooed well, first got my first tattoo when I was 16, and then I started getting a lot of tattoos here in Vancouver. Actually, I went into this one shop. It was called Sanitary Electric Tattoo Shop at the time, and now it's called Fraser Street Tattoo Shop. But I remember I was like 18 and I walked in there and I wanted like an owl or something. And
Nice.
they're like a pretty like traditional shop. Like they either do like American traditional or like Japanese. And they're
Okay.
2 pretty older guys, and they're just like, "That's the fucking stupidest idea ever. Why would you want that?" Because everybody else wants that right now. Because I lived in East Van, which is, like, super hipster,
Yeah, yeah.
kinda, like, area, and then they're like, "Get a fucking eagle," right? And I was like, "Okay," and then he drew the eagle on me or something, and then I went home
On
and
your
looked at it.
chest?
Yeah, and I looked at it all day, and I was like, "Fuck, I gotta get this," and I went back and got it, and I just never stopped going to that shop, but I always tell
Okay.
people tattoos fucking suck, and this comes from a guy who's covered in tattoos. Like, there's no fun tattoo. All tattoos suck to get, in my opinion. They all are not fun.
Like, they all kind of suck, and then some suck more, for sure. Because I, like, wanted to do, like before I got my neck done, I wanted to do, like, the sides of my head, like, probably around the back and stuff,
Mhm.
and then as soon as I got to my neck, I was like, this is good. I'm good here."
Yeah. Honestly, there's, like, spots where, like, the pain will drone out a little bit, but there's still pain, and honestly, my neck was really, really painful, like, it sucked. Like, the artist who I go see there, Chad Woodley at Fraser Street Tattoo Shop, is absolute gem, but he usually will only one-shot necks because most people aren't gonna come back for that second time because it sucks so much, right?
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
he did the back of my head, we lined it, and I came back to do the coloring because it's a pretty big piece, like a big Oni mask, and, like, he started
Sick.
relining some of the spots, and it hurt so bad. It felt like it was like a hot scalpel cutting, like, into my scalp,
Yeah.
and he's like,
Yeah.
"This isn't fun, like, this sucks," right? He's like, "Yeah, I can tell you're not gonna be able to do this." So then we just, like, covered it with numbing cream for, like, an hour, and then went back to
Okay.
it, and then did it, and it was, like, tolerable, but I don't think I could have done that back of the headpiece without the numbing cream, like, it was fucking excruciating.
Yeah, I don't know how some of these guys get, like I follow, like, some tattooers that, like, do, like, specialize in the lettering, and they'll do, like, the whole, like, side, like, or wrap around,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't even know how those people sat for that, like
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I got my palm done a long time ago when I was a kid, that really hurt. It's supposed to be a rose, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
tapped
I'm
out. That
sure.
that one really hurt, and these ones don't hurt though, like, these face ones, like,
No? Maybe I'll do
no.
that then.
You can't even like, this one here, you can't even feel it, like, the rose on the side of my cheek.
I have thought about doing that.
I could barely feel it, and this one was just, like, one of those little girls who calls herself a tattoo artist, but just does, like, line work.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do
yeah.
I do fine line tattooing, okay. But, yeah, she did this one.
Okay.
I didn't even feel it. It felt like it was like a feather on my, and it'll probably fall out in a year or 2, but this
Did,
one will never fall out. That's by, like, an OG old school guy. He pounded that thing in there.
yeah, did that girl did she use, like, one of the newer rotary machines?
It was just fine line, I don't know. It was just line work.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Like, the newer p like, the more machines that look like giant pens.
Yeah, she used, like, an electric pen one, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah. You go 'cause I'm sure the other guys you go to, they use, like, the coil machines,
Yeah, old school
like
coil machines.
like yeah, and those, like, usually they, like, really put the ink in harder for sure.
Yeah,
Because
and they
that's what
make
my
I like that sound, like, I need to hear that sound. It's like a little bit of
yeah,
meditation while you're getting tattooed, that buzzing.
the buzzing, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I got but those rotary I think it's like, those rotary machines, they don't hurt as bad because I got, like, a couple done like, a couple of my leg pieces got done by those. I don't know if it's just my legs just don't hurt as much or if it was the machines.
Well, there
But
is
also
I know those old school tattoo, like, the coil machines. I know there is a type that is, like, a rotary type as well because 'cause they've mentioned it a few times, and you can notice when
yeah,
they're doing shading with it, like, it's more of like a circle pattern, it feels like it's stitching in, and
yeah,
it's more mild. It's like it feels a lot nicer.
yeah, but also yeah, because I think my friend that did a lot of my tattoos, he just has a heavy hand also, so that could have been part of it.
Yeah, I mean, most of the guys I see too, like, they're not there to make your experience good, they're there to give you a good tattoo,
Yeah, yeah, that's kinda
you
part of
know?
it.
Like, but they do really good work, so, like, I had my hands done by those guys when I was, like, this hand I had done when I was 18 years old, and I worked construction for, 15 years with that hand, and it's still mint,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Because
know?
how old are you actually?
33.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I'll be 34 in May.
Okay, nice, that's coming up then.
How old are you?
How 30 6. I'm gonna be 37 this year. Yeah.
Jeez, you look good for you look young, bro. I look old, I feel like. I feel like I look like bodybuilding, I feel like aged me tremendously fast.
I don't know. I think I look older when you're closer because like I've been out in the sunlight for like so long, you know. So
Yeah.
that like
Get that leathery construction worker skin.
yeah, because I mostly it was only been like the last couple years that I was like really running the motors, like being an engineer. Because I've had my card for 6, but those first 3 years I was mostly working the ground. Well, but I
Mhm.
was working nights though, so maybe that's what helped. As I work nights, I usually work nights. Like I'm back on nights right now, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, nights are brutal. So speaking of nights and being like a coach that you are, is there anything you implement for you or your clients on night shift? Like, how do you phase in and out of night shift?
For me, it's not like the most ideal thing. Like before when I've done it, it was always like the same time. So I could
Mhm.
kind of set like my circadian like I try to like keep it the same throughout the week, but my schedule
Yeah.
right now is weird because I work 3 swing shifts and then an overnight shift. So like last night, like I just kind of don't really sleep. And then I just kind of stay up today. And then I just go back to sleep tonight and then reset it. So then I have like more of a sleep like normal sleep schedule.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's what I've been doing the last few weeks because I don't know, like, would it make sense to try to set it just for one day? But for other people, I try to have them do like the same thing and like kind of set their body to like always like wake up and sleep at the same time and just make sure like if they're going to be sleeping during the day, you know, they have the blackout curtains or if they need to wear like the sleep mask or anything so they can be totally blacked out, the nasal
Mhm.
strips, the mouth tape, all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like you definitely want to be stacking all the variables you can to get those wins in, right? Like
Yeah.
keeping that sleep window, keeping that routine in, stacking
Yeah.
like some supplements, magnesium, glycine, taurine, blackout curtains, cool room.
Yeah. All that stuff. I mean, that's good in general, but even more so for like the night shift people.
Yeah.
I mean, I do the Eminent Zenith PM myself and have usually my clients take that because it works so well. And that's the way
Yeah,
you're just not buying like 5 different sleep supplements.
for sure. Do you find like after a night shift, like when you go from night shift to day shift, do you find like if you were to finish your night shift and have like a short nap, like maybe a couple hours, and then stay awake through the daytime and then use that sunlight just to kind of reset your circadian rhythm and then go to bed at your normal time, no naps during the day, and then the following day you're back on the schedule. So like transitioning off a night shift, we're just going to get in like a short nap period, 3 to 4 hours, then get up, utilize that daytime light, try and
Yeah. Yeah.
ideally have no naps, and then
Yeah.
go to bed at
Exactly.
our typical sleep time.
Yeah. Exactly. I just go to bed a little later because like my other night shifts or my other shifts, I work like more like 2 to midnight.
Mhm.
So then I just go to sleep tonight. I'll just go to sleep around like 10 or 11 or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I would do the like, when I would do the same thing when I would do night shifts is if I was going from day shift to night shift, I would just wake up at the same time that I would usually, to get up to work a day shift, do my activity for the day, have a nap, like, in the afternoon, 3 to 4 hours to kinda, like, bridge it, and then go work
Yeah.
night shift, and then onto that night shift schedule for the time being. So, kinda, like, using
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
3 to 4 hour, like, kinda bridge windows they're almost naps, like, you're not really gonna get a true sleep period in on that first day, but I feel like it helps, like, create the structure for the following days of those shifts, you know?
Yeah. That's what I did. That's what I've been doing. As I'll sleep normally like Monday into Tuesday. Then I just try to like once my wife gets home from work, then I take a nap for a little bit before I have to go into work on Tuesday night.
Yeah, it's a tough one, like, it's really hard to lock in, like, consistent progress on night shift to day shift schedule because variables are changing so much week to week, and stress is pretty high, right?
Yes.
Is there
Yeah, that's the
anything you
thing.
use to manage stress, like, when you're working shift work?
Um, I try to keep my stress lower just like with my like mindset of not trying to be like overwhelmed with things.
Mhm.
Which can be hard when you have 2 kids under 2 and you're a little sleep deprived.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But yeah. What about you? What have you done?
Well, usually I'll just use like I like to utilize some adaptogens like ashwagandha, short periods of ashwagandha.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I'll just use like my sleep stack supplements, magnesium early in the day, just kind of help feel calm throughout the day. And then just like stacking my sleep stack at night, magnesium, L-theanine, glycine. I feel like all of those factors really help, as you mentioned at the beginning, like having a good supplement stack for those times, right? So you can get adequate sleep and you can drop a little bit of cortisol and reduce stress, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sorry, I think I cut you off. What were you gonna ask me?
I don't know.
Okay.
When did you like start train? Like at what point in your life did you like start getting into the gym seriously and taking training seriously?
So I've never really worked out before. Like I had to work out in high school, but I was always one of those really skinny kids. And so it was pretty discouraging when I couldn't even lift like anything. So I just never did it. And then it wasn't till, like I said, I went through that breakup with my ex that I was hanging out with some friends. And after I'd realized I had like gotten fat after being a skinny kid my whole life. And so they were saying they were going to start working out in their garage. And they're like, "Oh, do you want to come work out with us?" And I was like, yeah, I think that's a good thing I should be doing right now. So that's when I learned how to track my macros. And we didn't really know what we were doing training wise. We just got a training program from online someplace. And then we were like doing it backwards. We'd go for a 2 or 3 mile run and then lift weights. And our form was just horrible. Like we were doing, we were deadlifting, squatting, and bench pressing, but just bad. All three of them were just horrible. I found out later because I just took a video of like my squat, I think it was, and I showed a coworker who did powerlifting, and I was, "Oh, these are my squats." He's like, "Those aren't squats." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You're not even barely going down enough." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna
Hmm.
start over." And then, but then I did that for a year working out in his garage until like I finally got my own gym membership and
Hmm.
like started learning more. And then when I moved down to Long Beach, I was working out and then I made friends with a power lifter and then that he got me into powerlifting and I got a powerlifting coach for a little while and did like a powerlifting meet, but my diet was still like bad. Like I tried to hire a nutrition coach at like one time because
Hmm.
I had like lost a lot of weight and then I kind of bulked myself up, but I did like a dirty bulk because I was like being really impatient with the amount of weight I was gaining. In hindsight, obviously I gained weight like way too fast, but in the moment I was like, I've been stalled forever. And it was like a week. But anyways, so I just was like the worst bulk ever. Like I was eating like Costco pizza, like burgers, like everything. It was horrible. So I like hired this nutrition coach and I'd already done some research. So I know usually when you do a fat loss phase, you want to keep protein like 1.1 gram to like 1.2 grams of body weight. And then you're going to slowly cut down with your carbs and fats, right? And you're going to keep protein higher. But she just like, I hired her because I had started losing weight and I hit a plateau. And then, I mean, knowing now what we need to learn from ECA, I wish I would know about like body temperatures and all these things and I could have done refeed, but I didn't know that. So I hired this lady and the first thing she did was like cut my protein in half. So obviously that cuts away the calories, but then I'm losing weight, but I was just losing muscle. So then I lost another 10 or 15 pounds, I think it was. And I was just like skinny fat. And I lost like any progress I'd made in the gym that year. So then I was like, okay, now I have to start all the way over. And then I just did it myself again. And that's when I hired that powerlifting coach. So slowly building up my strength and slowly building up my body weight. I think from, it was like 170 ish up to like slowly went up to 200 pounds over a year. But those last 5 pounds, I got like sloppy again. But I did a powerlifting meet and I did okay. And then after that, that's when I was like, I need to hire a bodybuilding coach. I think I need to really learn how to like get my nutrition under control. And then that's when I did my first kind of like bodybuilding. It wasn't a bodybuilding prep, but he got me like I was eating 5 or 6 times a day, getting to 12,000 steps a day, doing a push pull leg split, I think it was. And then in a few months, I lost pounds and kept all the muscle that time. And I was in pretty good shape. And then I worked with him for a couple years. And then the next time, like we did another massing phase and then we did another fat loss phase. And then that time I probably could have done a show because I got like pretty lean. My glutes were coming in, but in my head, I was like the body dysmorphia was like, "You're still fat. You can't do a show." And my coach was like, "I think we could probably do a show." And I was like, "I'm not ready." And he's like, "Oh, if you don't think you're ready, we don't have to do one." And I was like, "Okay." And then I look at pictures and I was like, dang, I was actually pretty lean.
Hmm.
And that was in 2021. And then I moved here to Texas in 2022 and I switched coaches. I don't know if you know who Ross Flanagan is, but I was working
Hmm.
with him for a little while. And then we pushed my body. Worked with him for a couple years. I pushed my body weight up to like 225. And then we did a fat loss phase and I got down to the low 200s and I was sitting pretty good. And then that's when I had my son. And then I like last year, and then I kind of just stopped the coaching. I was just coaching myself for like a year and a half. And then did like a fat loss phase on my own. And then, earlier last year, that's when I joined ECA and then started learning a lot more about like all this functional health stuff and like all these other things that would have helped me a lot more in the past. But, at least I know it. At least I know it now.
Hmm. So you were
So
always kind of attracted to powerlifting at the beginning then?
yeah, I like the becoming stronger because I'd always been like so weak before. So it was nice like building my strength up for once. And like the technique part of it. But I have pretty long arms, so my bench has never been like the strongest. I'm like pretty good at like deadlifting and like squatting, but my bench has always been like the worst thing.
Hmm.
But yeah, powerlifting was fun and I'd still like to do those lifts, but especially after having kids, I just don't have the time to do like that powerlifting training. Like I tried it because I went back to it for a little bit and it just takes way too long because you have to like slowly build up to like your squats and then you do back off sets of squats, then you're going to do like another variation of squats, then you still have to do like all your accessories. And I'm like, dude, I don't have time for this. I need to do like my workouts in like 30 or 45 minutes now. Yeah.
So how do you manage working out when you have two kids at home?
So what I did last year that was working out pretty good when my son was smaller is like as soon as I put him down for a nap, then I would just go and like work out for like 30, 45 minutes. And then as he's gotten older, now I can work out with him because now like he only naps like once a day. So I can sort of sometimes if my schedule lines up, I can still work out. Like me and my wife will work out when he's napping. But now with the two kids, if like one will be asleep and then one will be up. So usually like we do it when our daughter's napping, as our son will just be in there like just doing his own thing. Like cause I have my drums, like electronic drums set up in there. So it's usually just he's just playing those while we work out.
Hmm. Do
And
you
then we
know
still try
gyms in
to
your no gyms in your area have like daycare or anything?
they do. We're thinking of signing up for one. It was just because our daughter's still so young. She's like barely 6 months.
Hmm.
And she's been going through this like phase of like cluster feeding. So it just wouldn't make sense, like, with, like, the way they're eating, like, to finally by the time we got to the gym, she'd be, like, hungry again. So that's
Hmm.
why it's nice having our home gym because then we just feed her, and then she'll be cool for, like, f an hour, and then we can go work out real quick.
Yeah, I think that'll be hard. When I have a kid, I'm probably always still gonna go to the gym. I won't be able to let that go. But I think I'll just get like a 24-hour and just get up like at 4 in the morning, go to the gym
Yeah,
at for an hour before anybody's even awake, and then just
yeah,
crush it out. I think that's
yeah,
how
I
I'll
think
probably do it because I'm like I cannot just work out in the apartment gym. It's like sometimes I can do that if I'm really just not feeling like going out at all, but I kind of
yeah,
have to. I need that like space, that like separation. Going to the gym. I feel like it's like a huge escape for me myself.
yeah, that I get that, like, to get your mindset once you, like, actually enter the gym.
Yeah, and not even like I talked about this yesterday on the podcast. Like I don't train at necessarily a hardcore gym. It's a community center kind of gym. Like it's on top of the hockey arena here, but has a ton like it's kitted out, the best kit. Honestly, like
Oh, nice.
the best kitted out gym probably in the lower mainland, all brand new, like really nice Atlantis equipment and stuff like that. So yeah, it's awesome, but just going into that space, just a transfer of like leaving home and going there, like that's kind of like it's like going to work, it's just like my place of work. And then if I was just to like have a home gym, I feel like it'd be really hard to yeah, it's just like ritualistic and I'd have to kind of find a way to find that harmony in a new place, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because I was going to a gym here, like, I do have a nice, gym here. They have, like, an area where your kid like, you can put your kids, but they
Hmm.
don't have, like, someone to watch them, like, they have to be old enough to, like, be chilling in the room by themselves, but,
Right.
like, the owner does a good job of getting, like, a lot of good kit, and I'll still go to that gym, like, every once in a while. I'll just pay for a day pass and go train there because it is such a nice gym. But my wife has been thinking about getting, like, a membership because there's a Lifetime not far from us. So and they do the childcare, and then they also do swimming lessons and stuff for the kids. So it'd be worth it to get a membership there for, like, that stuff.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Then they can get swimming lessons and stuff as they grow up. I remember I did swimming lessons all through when I was a kid. I got all my swimming lessons completed all the way to like I could have been a lifeguard. I just never did the lifeguard exams.
Oh,
But
nice.
yeah, it was fun to do that as a kid, like go for swimming lessons, and it gets pretty hard, man. Like by the time you pass, like you have to be able to swim really good and swim long distances. Like I forget what it was. I think it was like 900 meters or 1,000 meters. So it's like many lengths of the pool, right?
Yeah, I didn't get that far because I was doing swim lessons when I was a kid too, and then, my parents split up, and it was on the weekend, and so my dad had me on the weekends, and he, like, said he didn't wanna take me to the swim lessons anymore, so I had to quit. But I was doing, like, really good because 'cause I'd been in the swim lessons for several years, and I'd already done, like, all, like, the learning the different strokes, and they
Mm-hmm.
were teaching me, like, diving, and, like, the next part of it was gonna be, like, learning how to do, like, flips and stuff, like, off the high dive. And my dad's like, "No, we're not doing that anymore." And I was like, "Okay, thanks."
Really?
Yeah, I tried to do, like, a few different things, like, I tried to do, like, martial arts, and my
Yeah.
dad's like, "No, I'm not doing that on the weekend." And I was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
so thanks."
Was your dad very supportive of what you wanted to do, or what's going on there?
No, not really, but then yeah, that's a whole other thing. Because
Do you have a good relationship with your parents?
I have a better relationship with him now that, like, I'm older, but,
Yeah.
like, when I was a kid, it wasn't so good, and then, he just, like, stopped even, like, coming to pick us up on the weekends in, like, when I was in middle school, and he just, like, because it was supposed to be, like, every weekend, then it was, like, 3 weekends out of the month, then it was, like, every other weekend, and then it was,
Mm.
like, 1 weekend a month, and then he just, like, stopped, and we're like, "Okay," and then but it was weird because he was, like, still fighting, like, a custody battle with my mom or something. I don't know, but then
Mhm.
he just they got I don't know what happened, like, oh, that's yeah, okay, now I remember what happened. Well, I don't know if I should say all that, but he was like, "I'm over it, I'm not even gonna come get them anymore," and my mom's like, "Okay." So then I didn't see him. I think I was, like, in 8th grade. I didn't see him until I graduated high school. He came to, like, my graduation, and then after that, I slowly, like, started building a relationship with him again. Yeah, but so growing up, I just had, like, other male role models, like, I had, like, a best friend growing up, like, through high school, like, middle school and high school,
Yeah.
and his dad was a firefighter. So he was a good, like, role model, and then I also, like I said, I played drums, so I had a drum teacher, and so he was, like, my other role model. So I had, like, those 2 guys, like, growing up.
Well, that's good. But you lived
Yeah.
with your mom primarily growing up then?
Yeah, yeah, I did, with my mom and my 2 sisters. Yeah. So, I think because right now, it seems like I'm coaching, like, mostly, like, females and moms, and so I don't know if that's wise because, like, I grew up around girls my whole life, so I don't know if I can just, relate to them more or something, but it seems to be, like, that's who I'm attracting.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's good. I
Yeah.
mean,
So what got you into bodybuilding and stuff? How long have you been doing it for?
I've been competing in bodybuilding for about 10 years now. Yeah, I just got into it because I talked about it on a few of my podcasts, so I won't go into it too much, but I was just like partying, just a shithead, and somehow I fell across like the UK bodybuilding scene, and yeah, I was just like looking for another escape essentially, and yeah, I was partying lots of the time, doing lots of hard drugs, drinking and whatnot. So my plan was to stop all of that, and yeah, that was like my outlet to do that, and yeah, it worked. It worked good. Yeah, I hired coaches, and yeah, they gave me like they were like really good role models for me, gave me direction and stuff, and pretty much from there, just my life has just gotten better exponentially.
Nice.
So yeah, that's kind of how I got into it, and now I just love it. I love bodybuilding. I love the fitness community, and yeah, it's
Nice.
lots of fun, lots of good people, lots of like-minded people, lots of motivated, dedicated individuals. Those are good people to be around, right?
Yeah.
Growing up, I spent a lot of my time around, people who didn't have huge aspirations or goals or, focus or drive or, care to do anything. So
Yeah.
it's nice to be surrounded by, a community of people who are passionate and, driven to be better. So I think that when you surround yourself, you're going to be like the people you surround yourself with, right? So surround yourself with good people, like-minded people, positive people. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it's always been for me, right?
Yeah. That's good. I definitely agree with that because that was like one of the reasons I kind of wanted to leave that hometown is because it wasn't like I wasn't gonna get any like better. So like the more, but I totally agree because especially like the community we're in, they really push you to be like better. And also like my latest the coach I'm working with right now is like also good because he's a dad also, and so he's giving me like a lot of input on like how to get some training in
Hmm.
like, no matter what. So, like, it's nice when I have, like, the home gym because if even if I don't have time with, like with all the kids and stuff to get, like, a whole, like, hour block, if I can just go in there and still, like, do, like, a set of arms or shoulders or something for, like,
Yeah.
5,
Okay.
10 minutes and then just do that, like, several times throughout the day, it won't be, like, 45 minutes together, but if I can still train for 45 minutes, 60 minutes throughout the whole day, I mean, I still got all my volume in, right? And so I'm still gonna progress every day.
Yeah, for sure. At least you're doing something, right? Instead of just, making excuses.
Yeah, exactly.
There's always way to make it work. There's always way to do something, right? I mean, even just
Yeah,
getting the
exactly.
fucking few kettlebells, throwing those around, 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at night. It's still, activity is gonna benefit you in the long run. It might not be anything crazy intense or as extreme as some might like, but it's still movement, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And for
Yeah, because I have a couple.
a lot of people, that's, just where it starts is just, getting some activity, getting some movement in throughout the day, right? Maybe
Oh,
not
yeah.
when you're talking to like a performing athlete or a competitor. I mean, they probably already have that structure in line, right? But for common people, looking to make changes and stuff, it's just finding those non-negotiables that you can commit to throughout the day.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Just looking through this question bank to see if there's any good questions I can pull up. What does your home gym setup look like right now?
Oh, yeah, so I have, a squat rack, an adjustable bench, 2 barbells, um, plates. I think I have almost up to yeah, I have, like, 500 pounds of weights for my barbells, and then we have this, Marcy, like, home gym, like, cable machine thing. So, you can do pretty much everything but leg press with that. So, there's, like, a chest press, you can do pull downs, rows, curls, push downs, yeah, like cable lateral raises, you can use row delts. The only thing it's not so good for is flies. You can do flies, but it has to be like single arm. Otherwise, it's just like not enough range of motion. But yeah,
Right.
so it's pretty good. The only thing I don't have right now is a leg press. But I mean, I can do like a bunch of other different kind of like squatting patterns. Obviously, you can do like I usually do like back squats or Zercher squats or Bulgarian split squats or something with the barbells.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lots of squat variations, split squats, things like that you can do. That's a solid setup though, and 500 pounds, that's pretty good. What's your
Yeah.
being a power lifter, do you have some like do you have any like good maxes?
Um, they're decent for like me. I think my best my best deadlift's 500 pounds. What was my best squat? Like I can't remember if it was 375 or 385.
Nice.
And then my bench press is 285. Yeah.
Nice. It's pretty
Yeah.
solid. Pretty fucking
Yeah.
solid.
Okay. Yeah. But I don't really like go because I don't really do 1 rep maxes. I haven't done 1 rep maxes for like a year and a half or something. Maybe close to 2 years now
Yeah.
since I've done like 1 rep maxes. I've been doing like more sets of like 6 to 10 for those.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And before we started talking here, before we hit the record button here, we're chatting about you're thinking of maybe competing in the upcoming future again.
Yeah, I like because I haven't done a bodybuilding show yet, so I'd like to this year for sure. For sure, I'm gonna just want to get like super peeled. For sure, I'm gonna do that, and then we'll see if there'll be a like a show nearby that I can do also. But
Yeah,
that's
that's the
the
biggest
that's
thing
the
is
goal
that
right now.
your first show, you just got to come and fucking dice to the bone.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. That's what my goal is right now.
That's a painful pursuit, let me tell you.
Yeah, I was
Extremely
getting
exhausting.
I was getting close one time, but I still like I said, I think I could have been a little leaner, which is always like that last part, which I'm sure is going to be brutal.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked with UK coaches pretty much primarily for all my preps, and they're they're renowned for their condition. They like to push condition out there.
Yeah. Who have you worked with?
I worked with Daniel Bastick. They're not huge names, but really good coaches. Daniel Bastick, Tom Haynes out of the UK, Christian Chapman. Christian Chapman's a bigger name. I had him on the other day there, but
Yeah. Okay, nice,
yeah, they
nice.
get fucking peeled out there.
Yeah, yeah. Because I follow like Kuba Chelin.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
had one of his athletes on my second podcast, Matty Cotes. He's a Canadian and went IFBB pro with Cuba. So yeah,
Oh, nice. Yeah,
phenomenal athlete. And Cuba's a really good
yeah.
coach as well.
He is. He is. Yeah, yeah. I'm working with Cornelius Parkin right now.
Hmm.
So I've been wanting to work with him for several years, and then I finally just did it.
How's working with him?
It's been awesome. It's been
Yeah,
really great, actually. Yeah, it's been super helpful. Just like in not even just like the bodybuilding aspect, but just like life aspect and with like helping me with coaching also, which is great. Yeah.
that's really good. So, do you have any other big plans for this year? Any big plans for 2026? I mean, it's still early in the year here, but surely you have some big goals that you want to hit.
Well, for sure. I think besides like my physique goals, like my goal is to quit the railroad this year and just go full time with coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's for sure my goal.
Make it happen, my man.
Yeah, because you're my inspiration since you already did that.
Yeah, I don't know. They pushed me out of my job, so I was like, whatever, fuck it. I don't need you then. So,
Yeah, yeah,
it's always going to be there regardless. It'll always be there. I mean, that money's always there. Those jobs are always there. You can look out my window right now and see 5 companies. Like, Vancouver's crazy, man. The infrastructure here is never ending.
really.
Yeah, like you could make like 6 figures and like walk to work, like walk on a construction site like 5 minutes away, you know what I mean?
Okay, okay.
Yeah, like you don't have to cuz I grew up in Saskatchewan, and a lot of guys were making money working camp jobs, oil field jobs,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
exactly.
even railroad, spending time away from home, working at a province and whatnot, but pulling pretty good incomes. But now you can pull that kind of income in the city and you're home every night because there's so many projects and so much infrastructure and there's so much competition, right? There's not enough employees, there's not enough employment, not enough guys willing to work, right? So the
Yeah,
guys who have the skill set, they want more money now, and guys aren't getting into the industry unless the money's there. So they're gonna have to keep paying guys more and more, right?
yeah. Because you were like a heavy equipment operator, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, but those jobs will always be there. I mean, there's always gonna be dirt to be dug on the world, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And then when you do leave your job, like you're forced, right? Like now it's like sink or swim. There's no, oh fuck it, whatever, because I have my paycheck coming in on Friday, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly,
No,
exactly.
well, now you got to get your own paycheck, so your
Yeah,
back's kind of against the wall, right? Sink or swim, so sink or swim,
yeah,
right? I guess there's only one
yeah,
to choose, so Yeah, it kind of motivates you. I mean, when I left my job, like I was able to do like what I would have been able to do in 2 weeks in one day.
Yeah, so that's like, because I feel like if anything, my
Like
job
in
is
terms of
like holding me
productivity.
back. Yeah, because it's like holding me back in some ways because if I could spend, since I'm already working 40 hours a week there, that could have been 40 hours a week I could have just put towards the coaching, you know?
Yeah.
And then I'm limiting myself a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to work a 40, 60 hour job and then put 40 to 60 hours into something else.
Yeah, exactly.
Realistically,
Yeah,
like if you put part-time effort into something, I think you're going to get part-time results, right? But if
yeah,
you put full-time effort into something, you're probably going to get the full-time results, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
if you're only able to dedicate to 2 hours to something, it's so much harder to get results, where opposed to you being able to dedicate 8 hours to something, right? Your productivity, you just 10x everything. Everything just skyrockets, right?
yeah. That's why I chose the job I'm on like right now because I get 3 days off. So I can use those days for like full work days now. Because before I was only having 2 days off, but it was harder
Mhm.
to get any work done because my wife worked those 2 days. So then I
Yeah.
wasn't really getting much work done because I was with the kids all day. So now
Mhm.
this schedule is working.
That's good.
Yeah. That's why I think it'll be much more realistic now.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
good. Cool, Sam. Well, I appreciate you coming on here, my man. It was good having a chat with you. We're definitely gonna have to have you on here again sometime soon.
Yeah.
Is there any final thoughts? Any questions you have for me? Anything you want to run through quick before we shut her down here?
No, I don't think so. That was good conversation.
Yeah, it was a good conversation,
Yeah.
fun little conversation. A little bit about tattoos, about
Yeah.
that fun little fiasco, and a little bit about life, So it's always a
Yeah.
good chat. It's always nice to sit down and talk with somebody. So I appreciate you coming on here. Appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do this. If the people want to find you, reach out to you, where can they find you at?
Just Sam Rodriguez.fitness on Instagram. I think same thing on TikTok. But easiest to reach out to me on Instagram.
Right
Yeah.
on, right on. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody who took the time to turn in. If you made it this far, love you lots, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.